That's a fact.
Yeah, that's right. I said it and I'll say it again. Game of Thrones, one of the most beloved episodes of Futurama, is overrated. I have an unpopular opinion and I'm putting it out there for all the internet to see. What you gonna do about it? I'm Shady Doorags, son. I ain't afraid of no controversy. I might as well be a turkey because I'm so freaking based. It's my middle name at this point. Shady Based Doorags. I made the Tuka and Birdie video, the Hollyhock video, and the Penny video, and yet I'm still standing. So take all y'all's wrong opinions and go cry to your mamas because my opinion is clearly the superior one and there's nothing you can do about it. What I meant to say was, hey, hello, how do you do? Shady Doorags here. Ever since I started reviewing Futurama, you intellectuals have constantly recommended the episode Game of Thrones. Even to this day, I get comment after comment of how this episode is one of, if not the, biggest grill jerkers of the show. I believe these comments and was greatly looking forward to watching this episode. Every other episode recommended to me, like The Late Philip J. Fry, Lethal Inspection, and Meanwhile, all did not disappoint. Game of Thrones, however, is the episode that broke that streak. Now, yes, I do admit that because the episode itself was hyped up for me, that could help explain why I don't like it. Unnecessary hype can lead to unfair expectations and overly critical judgments. However, I think I can still make a case that, objectively, this episode is not as good as everyone is claiming it to be. In fact, I would go as far as to say it's a bad episode. So strap in, folks, because I've got an unpopular opinion. Again. And I'm about to share it with the world. Again. Because I've got nothing better to do. Again. So the episode starts with a spaceship heading towards some planet. The spaceship plays a tune to the planet, and as it gets closer, the planet crumbles and gets destroyed. Ominously, the ship then heads towards Earth. We hop to the Planet Express where the team is doing absolutely nothing when they suddenly hear the noise.
It's that schwacked out music from outer space again.
Darned kids, in my day, sound didn't travel through space.
After hearing the tune, Fry thinks that it sounds familiar to him.
It's not Walking on Sunshine. It's not Foggy Mountain Breakdown. What else is there?
Eventually, Farnsworth figures out that the sound is a means of communication coming from the small ship, but he still doesn't know what it means. Fry continues to tell everyone that he recognizes the tone, but can't figure out where from. So the professor scans Fry's brain and reveals that Fry heard the tune on the day he got frozen in time.
I too was on Earth that day, but I recall no such music.
Was he there that whole time? Nibbler's statement means that continuity plays an important part here. Unlike a lot of Futurama episodes that are standalones, this episode is a sequel. I mean, yes, technically every episode is a sequel to the very first one, but that's usually where it stops. With actual sequel episodes, the continuity from certain episodes in the past can't be forgotten because they help shape the current episode being viewed. This means the continuity of those episodes needs to be consistent with the episode you're watching. So far, because of what Nibbler said, the relevant episodes to this one are The Day the Earth Stood Stupid and The Why of Fry. Since Fry might be the key to saving the planet, the professor and Amy hook him up to a machine that will allow him to revisit his past in dream form while the rest of the crew watch.
My old apartment! My old girlfriend!
Old?
Alright, let's add the Chronic Woman to the list.
Where could I have heard that music?
Yo, Cosmic F, what up?
And the luck of the Fryrish as well. Eventually, Fry tries going into a place he's never been before, and it's revealed that he can't remember something he's never experienced. I mean, duh. This is mostly just foreshadowing for later, though I don't really think it's needed. Anyway, after accidentally getting himself killed in his dream, Fry wakes up, but is told he needs to immediately go back to sleep.
Why? I thought that alien ship wouldn't be here for 2 weeks.
Exactly. And you've been asleep for 13 and a half days.
Jeez. This is the first major problem with the episode. What was the point of having a 2-week deadline if you were just gonna skip over 13 days anyway? It's even acknowledged earlier that a ship taking 2 weeks to go from planet to planet doesn't make sense in the Futurama world. So why have this? The deadline could have been 24 hours and the story would be the exact same. Actually, no, the story would be better. Because in the 2 weeks that Fry is dreaming, no one on Earth attempts to contact the approaching ship. They don't send messages to it, they don't use brain spikes, they don't even fly up and talk to it. This is a world filled with spaceships. Planet Express itself is a delivery company that has a spaceship. Why would no one think to simply fly up to the ship and ask what it wants? Anyway, the crew tries to get Fry to go back to sleep, but before they can, Fry has some complaints.
Stop! I'd really rather not relive my last day in the past. It was awful.
Fry is unappreciative of his old life given how horrible his last day was. However, when he does go back into his dream, he's immediately reminded that not everything about his time in the past was awful.
Seymour, I forgot about you.
And there goes Jurassic Park.
Maybe I do kind of miss this place. Maybe I just convinced myself I hated it because I knew I could never come back.
So Fry goes back into his old house, not to look for the tone, but to revisit his family. The professor tells him not to waste any time, but Fry ignores him and has a montage? Okay, this part is admittedly a nitpick, but does it irk anyone else that earlier in the episode, Fry only walked around for like 5 minutes and yet 2 weeks passed, but here he's having a montage and hardly any time goes by in the real world? I mean, yes, this is technically possible, dreams speed up and slow down the perception of time, but it's extremely distracting, especially since, like I said, that 2 weeks deadline was pointless and did nothing but create plot holes. Anyway, Fry's family tells him to head to work, but knowing this will be his last day here, Fry wants to spend more time with them. As mentioned in other videos, it's well within Fry's character to give up great things in order to do something that gives him simple pleasures. In this case, however, it's way more annoying since he's literally about to let the world end just to spend time with his family. Not even his family, a dream version of his family. Like, that dream machine isn't going anywhere. Fry could find the tone, save the world, and then come back later to relive his past as many times as he wants. And even if Fry is too stupid to think of this, none of his co-workers bring this to his attention either. So the episode continues, and Fry not only doesn't want to leave, but begins to fixate on his mom.
What if I never see you again, Mom? There's a lot of stuff I want to tell you.
Even when Leela enters his dream to get him, Fry pleads with her for a moment alone with his mother specifically.
Please, I need more time with my mom.
Alright, so here's where my unpopular opinion starts to rear its head. Its beautiful shades and do-rags wearing head. A lot of people say that this episode is one of their favorites because of Fry's interactions with his mom. It's supposed to be a loving, sweet moment that reflects how people in general feel about their moms. However, I had a hard time being immersed in this episode because certain things just didn't add up. When I saw this moment, when I saw Fry fixating on his mom, my immediate thought, which I think was very rational, was, why does Fry want to bond with his mom specifically? Like, it makes sense that he would want to spend time with his family in general, but his mom hasn't done anything within the episode that would make him want to prioritize her. Added to that, this episode is constantly referencing past ones, so I'm forced to think about their continuity in relation to this one. But when you look at the list of past episodes, they give Fry reasons to want to talk to everyone but his mom. Luck of the Fryers made Fry realize he misunderstood his brother. Jurassic Park made Fry realize he accidentally abandoned Seymour. And in Cold Warriors, which actually isn't on the list, but still, Fry was directly told that his father cared for him. It would make sense if Fry wanted to bond with any of them because those episodes opened up things that never got closure. His mom is the last person in the family Fry should want a few extra minutes with. While I don't know why Fry is doing this, I know why the writers are making him do this. The reason Fry fixates on his mom out of story is the same reason why he shouldn't in story. It's because Fry already had a touching moment with all of his other family members in past episodes. Game of Tones appeared in the last season of Futurama. This was the writer's chance to wrap up everything having to do with Fry and his family, so they finally gave him a mom episode. But you know what? That's not even a bad thing. I don't care too much about the meta why, but more so the execution. But with the way they've done it, Fry focusing on his mom just makes no sense to his character. And the thing is, the episode could have easily fixed this problem. During the montage, have Fry bond with everyone in the family one by one, specifically showing he got to spend time with his dad, Yancey, and Seymour. Then, at the end, have him say, the only one left is mom, but then is interrupted by Leela telling him to move on. This will give Fry a reason to fixate on his mom without it feeling forced. But as is, the wanting he has comes completely out of nowhere and thus isn't earned. Moving on, the rest of the Planet Express crew, as well as Nixon and Agnew, come in to try and force Fry to continue the dream. Once Fry leaves the house, he can't see his family again because that was his last memory of them. You know, you could just reactivate the machine later, but whatever. Reluctantly, Fry continues the dream until it eventually ends with him getting frozen in his pod. But right before he falls in...
Did you hear it?
You what?
Just as I was falling into the tube, I heard the tones, plus 2 extra notes.
That could be a response the aliens are waiting for. When the alien ship plays the tone sequence, respond with the exact notes you remembered in your dream.
Fry does what the professor says, and it turns out that the ship approaching Earth that's playing this planet-destroying tune is just a Nibloid. The Nibloid is Nibbler's old chauffeur, Digby, who was just looking for his missing ship.
I suddenly realized I'd forgotten to lock the ship.
Bye-bye, keys.
The boss gave me a spare key, and I began going planet to planet looking for the company car.
But why did you have to blast us with that deafening music?
You mean the key fob?
That's it, all right. Although the cassette player's been stolen and the battery's dead.
Okay, I have several questions. 1. Why didn't Fry's friends hear the tone when they were in his dreams? He heard it as he was falling in the container. If it was car keys right near him and a ship outside, they should have heard it as well. 2. If Digby was looking for his ship, why would Earth not be the first place he checked? Even if he couldn't remember what planet he last visited, he would have had to known it was the planet Fry was on. Fry is the most important person in the universe to the Nibloids. They all know he's on Earth. Yet it took this guy, what, 1,000+ years to scratch Earth off the list? 3. Why wouldn't Digby call Nibbler and ask him where the ship was? 4. Why didn't the keys fully destroy Earth when Digby got close to it? He destroyed the other planet. 5. Why in the year 2000 did the keys do absolutely no damage to Earth back then at point blank range? 6. Why didn't Nibbler remember the tone? It's his ship and his chauffeur. He would have heard it way more times than Fry did. 7. If the battery on the ship could die, doesn't that mean that searching for it was pointless? It wouldn't have responded anyway. 8. Did Digby really not know he was destroying planets? Did he just let that happen and drive past them? And 9. After all of that, after everything that just happened, Digby leaves without taking his other freaking ship with him. Meaning all of this is gonna happen all over again. That last one wasn't a question? This is so freaking stupid. I mean, yeah, it's Futurama. The answer was always gonna be stupid. But even within the stupidity the show has for itself, this doesn't make any sense. They normally acknowledge that what's going on is stupid, and that's what makes it funny. But this time, the show pretends like Digby's explanation is completely satisfying. And normally, I wouldn't question the logic this much, but this is what the episode revolves around. It was set up to be a mystery, forcing you to think of what the answers could possibly be. But when the answer is finally revealed, it just created a ton more questions. Okay, so the episode continues with Nibbler telling Fry that he'll find some way to repay him because Fry saving both the Earth and the universe wasn't enough to get the Nibloids' gratitude, but him remembering where they parked their lost ship was. Fry later goes home and has another dream about his mom. Even though he's getting what he wants, he knows it's a dream and now accepts that that's not good enough.
And that's it. Wisconsin has defeated Stanford 17-9 in the 2000 Rose Bowl.
I never saw that game. It happened after I got frozen. How can I be dreaming it in such detail?
Well, Fry, as established earlier in the episode, dreams don't have to make sense, and you're no longer hooked up to the professor's machine, so this dream isn't a memory, it's just a normal dream. Literally anything is possible.
Because this isn't your dream, it's your mother's dream.
Or that. So it turns out Nibbler's way of thanking Fry is to give him a miracle of sorts. Fry's dream in the present is connected with his mom's dream in the past, allowing Fry to have one last real moment with her.
There's so much I need to say. Is it really you?
Yes. I've dreamed about you a lot since you disappeared. What did you want to tell me?
Oh man, your arms.
Wow, that's really touching. Seeing Fry and his mom together, it makes me think of all the special moments in the show they had together. Like this scene.
The Mets win!
This is the happiest day of my life!
Here's your baby, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
And this scene.
Mom, help!
Yes!
And this scene.
Down to the 35!
I'm really sick.
Huh? Oh, sorry. 109. We'll check it again at halftime.
And this scene.
I'll never forget the day Philip disappeared. Wisconsin won the Rose Bowl 17-9.
In case you haven't figured it out, I'm trying to make a point, and that point is, who the crap is this character? Every moment with Fry's mom has shown us that she cares very little about him. Now, in the very last season, the show wants to tell us that she misses him so much she often dreams about him. A reminder, this is what happened when he went missing.
The police were going to conduct a search, but your parents felt it was a waste of taxpayer money.
So no one even cared that I was gone?
Not really.
And again, normally you would be able to ignore past continuity, but this episode made constant callbacks to other past ones. We have to assume the continuity in those episodes applies to this one as well. And yeah, a character can change or new things can be revealed about them. New information was revealed about Fry's dad in Cold Warriors, but in that episode, nothing actually changed about him. We were just given an explanation as to why he acted the way he did, and it was a believable one. This is completely changing something about Fry's mom, and it's done so drastically and sporadically. So anyway, that was Game of Tones, and man, what a disappointment. It's not a horrible episode, it's just very mediocre. But since everyone claims it's one of the best in the series, that makes it so much worse. Everything surrounding the core focus of the episode, the dangerous ship heading to Earth while destroying it by playing music, makes absolutely no sense. But even if you ignore that, the main reason people love this episode is because of Fry's emotional moments with his mother. But none of those moments are earned. Based on past episodes, Fry nor his mom would act the way they do in this episode. And while continuity is usually not a big deal, the way this is presented makes it so I have no choice but to acknowledge it. It's demanding me to recall past episodes, but I'm punished for doing so. I get that a lot of people feel emotional when they watch this, and I'm not trying to take that away from anyone. But I don't think it's because the episode itself is presented well. I think people like this because it reminds them of a real relationship with a mother, like one they have with their mom, or the kind they wish they had. Obviously, if I went through what Fry did, I would definitely want to talk to my mom one last time, and I could see my mom missing me greatly. But based on everything we know about these two, they don't have that same relationship. When you get down to it, the plot of the episode is completely nonsensical, even for Futurama standards, and the emotional moments between Fry and his mother that everyone seems to love are 100% completely forced. This has been Shady Doorags. So long, farewell, Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.